consistently just sharing this shit is a bit of a bitch, but Joey's going crazy right now. Yo, 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 what's good? Is my audio good? We're doing good? Okay, let me just tweet. Being distracted by other tweets. Shit. I actually enjoy this more than I enjoy fucking Twitch, to be honest. How fucking fucked up their app is. But yeah, welcome back to another stream. We are going to be talking about loads of other stuff. I did get a new headset. This is also for my PS5. It's also wireless. So yeah. Now there's a load of stuff I can talk about aside from wrestling. Like I can talk about like how fucking stupid streamers are just like running the platform. I can talk about John Cena's potential final opponent. I can talk about how a lot of people have problems with them. There's just loads of stuff that we can talk about because I just haven't done this in a while. It's an almost afternoon stream. I go to work at 5, so yeah. Then the Continental Classic, I can also talk about that as well. Excuse me, Will. Actually, let me like this tweet. Actually, let me react to this. Okay, here we go. Now, according to the Ali Exists podcast, or however the fuck you said, John Cena's father believes Gunther should not be John Cena's final opponent. He states that the fans would not enjoy it and believes Gunther does not deserve the rub. Fuck, excuse me. Um, Now this was like his father has every right to feel this way, especially being that John Cena wants to go out, knowing that it's going to be something that's fun and knowing that it's going to be something that's memorable for the fans. With Gunther potentially facing John Cena, which 9 times out of 10 he probably is at Saturday night's main event. Jesus, I cannot speak today. Um, it's not gonna be a match where it was with Cody or it was with CM Punk or it was with Randy Orton. Like no, it's gonna be a match where it's specifically gonna be focused on Gunther just giving John Cena hell in the last few minutes, like the whole match, and that's not something that's memorable for the fans. Like I don't want to see John Cena getting fucking chopped 24/7 and just like what the fuck was that? Was that one of my rings from my chair? What the fuck? Yeah, I just don't want to see like John Cena constantly just getting like his shit beat like all match and chopped because they're gonna make that the primary focus the whole fucking match. Like John Cena just getting hammered, hammered like you chopping cheese or something. Hammered, like come on, bro. Like nobody want to see this shit, bro. So I understand from his father's perspective, but he's also passing the torch to a guy who's pushing 40 years old. Like that's another thing. Like, because if y'all don't know, Gunther and LA Knight will be in the finals of the last time is now tournament, and the LA Knight thing, I'm kind of skeptical because, like, I cannot push this shit back. Fuck. I'm kind of skeptical because it comes down to just like let me. How's my audio? Let me make sure that's good. How's my audio? How is my audio? Um, it comes down to just like let me. How's my audio? Let me make sure that's good. How's my How is my audio? Okay, it's not bad, but I keep hearing this like big ass fucking just thing in the back. I don't know why it keeps on making that dun. I don't know why the fuck it's doing that. Like genuinely. So it's definitely not bad. Yeah, I'll just keep on going. Maybe it's the headset. I don't know. I haven't think so. Okay, it's not bad as long as y'all can. Okay, maybe if I played a video, because I haven't saved a lot of videos. Maybe if I play this. Okay, let me check it now. Because I haven't saved a lot of videos. Maybe if I play this. Okay, it should be good, yeah. It should be good, yeah. Wait, don't I have audio capture off? Like, how are y'all able to hear that? I don't care anymore. But yeah. But like I said about the Gunther and John Cena thing, like nobody just wants to see John Cena get like his shit beat all match because they're gonna make that the primary focus the whole match. Like they make Gunther seem untouchable in all realms of wrestling. Like I will give him that he is good, he is extremely good, but at the same time we don't have to watch him fucking chop John Cena's chest like it's fucking like a turkey ham all fucking match. Like nobody and Gunther, like John Cena's father said, he doesn't need the rub. Like Gunther is already as great as he is. He's the perhaps the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time, two-time World Champion, the longest reigning NXT UK Champion. Like, why does he really need the stuff that he needs? Like, I get it. He wants to bring quality back into like the WWE with the matches and stuff like that. I get that, but like if that's the problem, I know y'all seen Goldberg's retirement match. That shit was a clusterfuck as much as it was. So why do we need? I just hope that it's not that much of a clusterfuck. That's just all I hope. Austin Theory was originally supposed to be in the War Games match, but Jacob Fatu's injury made the WWE move to Cody versus. So what I got from this tweet was that apparently because Drew McIntyre and Cody's feud got hot, they like replaced Theory with Drew McIntyre, and because they moved that feud up a month, and they thought it did make sense for Cody and Drew to fight at Survivor Series, they put him in War Games. And they figured the only way that would make sense for Cody to be in War Games is if Drew McIntyre was in there. Because I remember when I told y'all in one of my videos about War Games, was that it would not make sense if Drew McIntyre wasn't in there for Cody to be in War Games. Because they could have got anybody. They could have got LA Knight. They could have got Sami Zayn. They could have got anybody who had a legitimate problem with division. But they couldn't do that. And obviously Logan Paul is in there because, he's a replacement for Seth Rollins. So, I mean, it is what it is. Like, I mean, Cody was replacing Jacob Fatu, so it's kind of just like whatever. And I didn't get to watch it, like the whole like PLE, so it's like whatever. It's whatever. But I kind of look at it as a thing where, you know, it's kind of like this reoccurring theme where they're just making excuses for it at this point. Like, is Drew McIntyre gonna go for a rematch at this point? Like, we legitimately don't know what is gonna go on these next few months. Like, honestly, but it's whatever. But here's another thing I want to talk about. I'm usually not a guy who's into like streamer drama or just like middling in that in any way, shape, or form. But what the fuck is going on with Twitch? Like generally, like what the fuck is going on with Twitch? Like I feel like they got like convicted like offenders there. Because there's no way that they allow certain people to do half the shit that they do over there. Like there's a girl
Obviously, y'all know who this is. Who's fucking? She fucking assaulted somebody, and I mean, she's banned now because like she got caught shoplifting on stream like a fucking child. Absolute fucking moron. I'm sure y'all know who it is. Um, she's banned now, but she got banned twice for the SA thing. Got unbanned, made a joke about being banned, never took accountability for the situation, and then continues to troll about it until this day. Like genuinely, like what do y'all have going on? Like these people make no money for the platform. That's the funny thing about Twitch. Like they, how do I say this? They endorse people who are not even useful to the platform at all. Like they endorse people who just they're not assets. They're not like useful. They're not gonna be good in the long run. Like Jack Doherty wasn't good in the long run. Look what they did. They fucking got him out of there. Look at Zoe Spencer was never useful to the platform. Like never. So why are we endorsing this? And then that motherfucker, that girl, she what is she good at? Aside from what she's known for doing, making motherfuckers feel uncomfortable, giving like masculine woman energy. Like what is she good for outside of that? I struggle to figure out how people like watch her because it's like how can you watch her stream and not be like, bro, why did I just waste like fucking 2 hours of my life or however the fuck long she streams just watching this girl do absolute fuck all? Like how could you really sit there and allow that to even be like I would be so pissed, wasting my time watching her stream. And I feel this way about a lot of streamers because now typically I don't really do the streaming stuff. I prefer YouTube videos, but today I just felt kind of good. I feel like I had a lot to get off my chest and I feel like I got a lot of time. So it is what it is. And I also got probably my game to play and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's just like I've been feeling kind of skeptical about the gaming content that I've been making for some reason. I don't know why, but I did not see these LA Knight stand accounts just like kind of hammering at WWE and what they are. Because like LA Knight, obviously, he's everybody feel like he's underappreciated and he's like underutilized in WWE. And I kind of feel the same way. But then again, it's just like you gotta think about the fact that you know LA Knight's like you know his peak was in 2023, and like the crowd reactions that he gets now are nowhere near as close as what he got 2 years ago. Like money, you couldn't watch a show without LA Knight's name being mentioned, and then the crowd just like fucking blowing the roof off and just wanting to start a riot over this nigga's name being said. Like constant. Even my cousin was like his number one fan. He was the first person to really get pissed off when he didn't win Money in the Bank. Like honestly, like so I struggle to understand it, but like damn, why can't we just give LA Knight a push? Like just a little bit of a push. Like he's already in the main event scene, so why can't we just do that for him? Jesus Christ, I can't even talk. Shit. But yeah, bro. It's just like LA Knight. It's just he does all the right things too. And obviously he's in the finals of the last time his now tournament, and like they let him beat Jey Uso because Jey Uso's been getting a lot of shit on the internet lately. He crashed out on Monday Night Raw. I don't know if y'all saw that, but yeah, bro, it was just an absolute tragic time for Jey Uso, to say the least. Because imagine doing all the right things and just like just being you and still still getting that much hate. But no, like I said before, nobody can make me hate Jey Uso. Jey Uso is just like the greatest guy ever. But I'm not gonna keep reiterating that. I know how I feel about it, but Black Ops 7 has a Warzone now? Oh, fucking sick. Um, I actually want to react to this video real quick.
What do you think the
It was Brian Danielson. He's my favorite technical wrestler. But I want to make sure like we're good on the hearing before like we get into this.
biggest difference between the American Dragon and
The audio is definitely clear, but I just want to make sure. We need. I just hope that it's not that much of a clusterfuck. That plan was originally. On the hearing before like we get into this.
biggest difference between the American Dragon and
The audio is definitely clear, but I just want. Make sure.
Daniel Bryan are.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's all what the
I wonder, do I have like a double? Okay, I have my audio capture on here. I want to make sure I don't have it on anywhere else.
companies wanted.
Okay. Hope that it's not that much of a clusterfuck. That plan was originally. On the hearing before like we get into this.
biggest difference between the American Dragon and
The audio is definitely clear, but I just want.
wanted.
Okay.
Companies wanted.
Okay. I don't know. Let's just watch it anyway.
No, like the Daniel Bryan is a character, and people relate to character, right? Bryan Danielson is closer to me, but it's still a character. It's not like, okay, if I'm talking about violence, I'm not a violent person, right? When I was a kid, I grew up in a logging community, so yeah, we'd get in fights or whatever it is, but it's not like that's my thing, right? I don't,
not looking for a fight.
Yeah, I'm not looking for a fight, and so it's like, yeah, so it's just interesting. I think I adapt. I've always tried to adapt to whatever the circumstances are of the promotion that I'm working.
I would want to say that I would like to see him back like wrestling, but it's just like this nigga is more injury prone than any other wrestler that I know, aside from like maybe Adam Cole or some shit. Like, I was looking up this nigga injury record and like this nigga concussion, neck injury, fucking he had neck injury, broke his arm, you know what I'm saying? Had an injury in the fucking match. What was the match? I know one injury, like he tore his retina, I think. And also he had an injury at the first ever Anarchy in the Arena match. They just didn't want to tell us what it was. And then obviously he had to get neck surgery at the end of his title reign, which caused his retirement. So I'm glad he's in a position where he is now, kind of giving commentary and shit like that. But like, I mean, wanting to see him wrestle again is kind of just like, he did his part. Fuck. He did his part, and I'm glad to see him in the position that he is now. Cause I do not want to see this nigga get injured again and be out for like 7 months.
For so like if I worked for Ring of Honor, I would wrestle in a way that not necessarily Gabe Sapolsky wanted me to. In this, it was more of like, okay, this is how I see this audience, and this is how I see them liking things. When I wrestled for WWE, nobody told me how to wrestle specifically. I saw the
It's fucking wrestling. How the fuck is anybody gonna tell you how to wrestle? As long as you're fucking good at it, doesn't all that matter? Now, in the aspect of just like, the business of professional wrestling in general, being a good wrestler is not enough. Like, that is the guy honest truth. Just being a good wrestler is not enough. Like, you have to have some sort of appeal. And I think WWE felt like for the longest time that he didn't have that appeal to be a champion, because like he was so injury prone and he was just so, well, he had it. He was over with the crowd. Let's just say that much. Obviously, he had the yes stuff. Yeah, I was doing it too when I first saw him. But if you look at it from this aspect, you can kind of see why they called him a B plus player, considering the fact that he doesn't have like an aura type star power that like a Randy Orton had back in the day, that a John Cena had back in the day, that a Batista had back in the day, like a Triple H had back in the day, like a Stone Cold Steve Austin had back in the day. Like, he didn't have that appeal that they had. That's why they were world champions over him. And Bryan Danielson, no doubt, fucking one of the best wrestlers in the world, my favorite technical wrestler ever. You know what I'm saying? Has the skill better than every single wrestler that y'all probably know. Like, he's that nigga. But for him to like carry a company for the longest time, I just don't see it. Like, even with AEW, I could not see this nigga carrying a championship, a world championship at that, for a long time, because of his injuries specifically. And that's just his injuries that I'm talking about as to why he couldn't carry it. Like, y'all gotta understand, there's a lot of more shit that goes into it.
WWE audience liking certain things. I thought, okay, I will wrestle this way, and that's how I wrestled in AEW. Okay, the AEW audience likes this sort of thing. I will wrestle this way. When I wrestled in Butlins, the Butlins audience likes this sort of thing. I will wrestle this way. And so it's all, it's all.
Yeah, the yes kicks were definitely the crowd stings. Yeah, that was their favorite move by him. It was my favorite move by him when I was a little kid. But my favorite move by Danielson probably will be like the Psycho knee, or kind of that little that back suplex he does off the top rope, or it's that that backflip that he does, and then does like a clothesline. If y'all know what I'm talking about, y'all know what I'm talking about.
It all expands, right? It's all an expansion of your abilities whenever you're trying to do these things. Like, wrestling in WWE expanded my ability as a wrestler, right? Wrestling in AEW, I think mentally, from a mental standpoint of putting together wrestling, by the end of my AEW run, I thought I was better mentally at wrestling than I'd ever been. But that's a culmination of AEW. It's a culmination of things I learned in WWE. It's a culmination of things I learned in Ring of Honor. It's a culmination of things I learned in Butlins, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it's all of those things. So.
I mean, WWE is like, if you're not the flavor of the month, then it's like you're not gonna get pushed to where you want to be. That's just where it is. Like, I feel like Bryan Danielson is a perfect example of that. Like, he was the flavor of the month, but then again, he was still a B plus player. And I let me explain it this way, right? Any babyface can get over with the crowd. Let me not say any babyface, because y'all seen what the fuck happened to Roman Reigns back in 2017, 2018. He was getting booed more than every heel in WWE at the time, and he was a babyface, which people like me who really fuck with Roman Reigns back then was really struggling to understand. Now, I know he beat the Undertaker and stuff, and the promos kind of weren't there, but he was still like the biggest babyface in the company. And I would even say that kind of attributed to his heel turn as like the tribal chief.
because he did all the right things for the company and still got hated for it, still got crucified for it. So now he looked at things like, okay, I'm gonna do it my way. I'm gonna do it, you know what I'm saying, the Roman way. You get what I'm saying? So you can see how they can attribute to like an account to how he feels about things now as a heel. Like if I was just getting booed like that, being a heel, like if I was getting booed like that, being a babyface, I would have just that would have broke me, honestly. But more to the point, Brian Danielson, he was really over with the crowd, but the thing is, it's just like he didn't have it all. Essentially, he didn't have, you know what I'm saying. When you appeal to so much of the WWE universe, then it's like, what are we even doing? Because if you're wrestling a certain way for this audience and you do that for such a long time, eventually they will get tired of it. Because I feel like a way to get over as like maybe a heel is to do the opposite of what, well, not a heel, babyface. Do the opposite of what they like, so you can be a guaranteed like, you know, long term star. And the thing with a heel is just like that's just a one, that's just minimal. That's one thing. Like just doing something that nobody likes is how you get over. That's just what it is. Um, and I feel like that's just like making money for the business essentially. But um, I want to react to some matches, but I'm not really sure if like I'll get copyrighted. Like for like honestly, I'm not really sure if I'll get copyrighted. Like, honestly. I'll be right back. This is also something I want to talk about. There are a couple matches that I want to see like more than I want to breathe. Like, here's one. I want to see Roman versus Braun Breaker. I want to see Roman versus CM Punk. I want to see Roman versus Seth one more time. I want to see Roman versus Cody Part 3 before they retire. What else? I want to see what else do I want to see? Now that's just 4 matches. Like I want to see I want to see Seth versus Kenny Omega, Seth Rollins versus Kenny Omega. I want to see the Shield. Well, let me not say I'm talking about specific matches. I want to see the Miz versus MJF. That's just 6 matches. I'm just gonna say by 6 matches. Those are 6 matches that I want more than I want to breathe. Like literally. Wait, did I react to? Oh yeah, I did see the list where like it said CM Punk was John Cena's greatest rivalry. Now the list was pretty accurate. I would give because I think I liked the tweet actually. I actually think I did like that tweet. Oh yeah, I did like the tweet. Yeah, I totally agree. CM Punk is definitely like his greatest rival, but I think that Randy Orton should be number 2. Just because, like, bro, Randy Orton fucking kicked John Cena's father, beat up and kicked John Cena's father on TV. It doesn't get any more personal than that. Nigga, I watched a rivalry front to back. The fuck I did, and I'm surprised that this was a number 1. And the Brock Lesnar stuff, like, I couldn't care less if he was at 10. Like, Bray Wyatt, I would definitely put him at number 5. Kurt Angle, this was kind of a funny one. Shawn Michaels, maybe a little bit higher, but I don't know. But as far as Randy Orton, bro, this rivalry was more personal than every single rivalry on here. Facts. Tell me when I'm lying. Go watch the promos. Go watch the matches. Go watch all their segments. Shit. Go watch a lot of these niggas' matches and just like tell me that this isn't like a number 2, if not number 1 rivalry. Like, go look at Randy versus John Cena rivalry, bro. Come on, bro. Like, y'all can't be serious. Now, Edge was definitely a worthy candidate for that number, but Randy Orton was definitely more worthy. I can't fucking breathe today. Jesus Christ. I haven't reacted to Plot in a while, actually. We'll get to him. This is the video I did want to react to.
It's time for some more WWE hot takes, and let's talk about the OTC. He needs to become a world champion sooner than later. Roman even said this on the last episode of Monday Night Raw.
That title would look so much better on my shoulder.
It wasn't specified.
And by the way, yes, I did see the original plans that, you know, he was going to fight Cody Rhodes in the main event of WrestleMania for the Undisputed Championship, because they had to make a pivot considering Seth Rollins was out with an injury.
Find who he was
I
talking
do hope that he gets cleared by WrestleMania, by the way.
about in that promo. The WWE left it open for us to discuss that topic, and my hot take is that Roman should defeat both CM Punk and Cody Rhodes in a triple threat match to become the double champ again. Let's run it back. We know that the Tribal Chief is more than capable of holding that top spot, and it's been about 2 years without him holding a WWE.
Yeah, that's definitely factual. Because, like Roman said it himself, like nobody really understands the landscape of being on top of the mountain like Roman does. He doesn't nobody really understands what it's like to have like that big target on your back where, you know, you got people like gunning for you and just, you know, targeting you 24/7, and you know you got this family to feed and you got the bloodline to make sure they're good, make sure they're doing good, representing the family, and just, you know, having to watch your back while doing all that. Nobody understands the landscape like Roman does. Roman obviously is more than capable of carrying that brand, well, WWE on his back. He's done it before. He did it for 4 years. So, like Cody Rhodes, he's a good quarterback, but the thing is, Roman Reigns is the general. Like, he's the general. Like, you could be the quarterback and Roman could be the king. Like, that's essentially what it is. Like, like he's the veteran in this game, and nobody can really take that away from him. And like I said, Roman Reigns, Michael Jackson of WWE right now. The guy gets a better pop than every single babyface, heel, like anybody in AEW, just like anybody in general. And Roman Reigns definitely needs to dethrone one of those two for those championships. I don't know if the plans are gonna get scrapped because they got leaked, but at the end of the day, bro, let's just be thankful we got this platform ahead of us. Let's be thankful that, patience is a good thing. It's a virtue. And let's just see what happens in the future.
Championship, it's been far too long. That triple threat match would sell a ton of tickets. It would be considered one of the biggest WrestleMania matches of all time. Will it happen? Definitely not, but it's fun to think about. However, we do need to get serious though, and the WWE was clearly planning a Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins feud for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. I was so excited to see those two finally wrestle at the grandest stage of them all in a singles match. We've seen them in the ring countless times. It's always been magic. WrestleMania 42 was the time to finally book it, but because of Seth Rollins and that shoulder injury, the WWE must pivot. After that segment on Raw, it is evident that Roman Reigns will compete against Cody Rhodes or CM Punk for their belts, and that is the big question. Who is it going to be? Who should it be?
This is a bit of a hot take, but I don't think that Braun Breaker versus CM Punk is kind of like a WrestleMania type match. That's just my hot take. Like, Braun Breaker is definitely a future WrestleMania main eventer, but I definitely don't see that match as a main event of WrestleMania. Like, I just don't see it. Like, I just don't see it, like, literally. Because it's just, one, this is just like, isn't this like Braun Breaker's second WrestleMania? Like, it's not something that I would be excited to see in terms of just like, we all know Braun Breaker's going to be a champion at some point, but it doesn't need to be in like on a grand stage. I mean, the guy's a heel. Like, he can win that championship tomorrow from CM Punk. Because, like, obviously he can beat CM Punk. He's a lot stronger, faster. Like, he can win that championship any day of the week. But as far as putting him in the main event of WrestleMania and him fighting CM Punk and thinking that's going to be like a money match, it's just, no. Now, would I say make a triple threat match with Braun, and CM Punk? I think that would be like a much better idea. But as far as just like, him already like getting that main event spotlight with CM Punk, I think it's just like kind of just like frivolous, and like I think that they should have better ideas for that.
And which match would probably sell more tickets? And the only right answer is Cody Rhodes. We already saw them wrestle a couple of times, and every single time there is a big fight feel to that match that not many matches can have in.
And like, I'm gonna say, I said it before, I'll say it again. I have no problem with a Cody versus Roman Part 3 at all. But it would only make sense if Cody was a heel and Roman was the babyface. It would make a lot more sense. Because Cody, like, it's getting kind of tiring seeing him with the championship, one. And two, he is slowly digging into that hole of just being mediocre. Like, let's just be honest for a second. Like, he's slowly digging into that hole of just being mediocre and nobody really caring that much about him. That's just the guy, honest truth. And nobody can tell me I'm lying. Like, I understand Cody Rhodes. He is box office. He is the quarterback. He is the champion. I get that. And he's over with the crowd. I get that. But the thing is, like, y'all can't sit here and tell me that y'all have enjoyed this title reign from day one. Because you haven't. And Roman shit was that. They can say how much of a part-timer that Roman is all they want. But you had your eyes glued to that screen every time that he came back and that the Bloodline storyline was cooking up. You cannot deny that. So let's get that established. And you know what I'm saying? Let's just get back to the video.
WWE, and it's only right if we see the trilogy. The story must come to an end. It also makes more sense if Roman goes after the belt that Cody took from him. As for the match, WWE could simply have Roman Reigns defeat him and reclaim his spot on the top of the WWE mountain, or they could hit us with the biggest swerve ever, what people have wanted to see for a long time now, and that's Cody turning heel. He becomes Homelander, and then the WWE would have their hottest storyline for the next year. As for CM Punk, he could go on to feud with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman. The last time they fought, it was an amazing match, and I'm not sure how great it would be in 2026, but I do know that they are both huge draws that could sell tickets, and I know that's the most important thing to the WWE right now. I'm sure WWE is heading into that direction because they sort of...
Wait, I wonder, what did they do to CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania? Because they think it would be a bigger draw than Braun Breaker versus CM Punk. But one thing, wait, no, fuck that. No, Brock Lesnar need to get that shit cleared up. Because I don't want nobody that got that shit on their name as world champion. I just don't want that. So, yeah, definitely Braun Breaker would be a better fit. And I think Braun Breaker could beat Brock Lesnar.
hinted at these box office matches with their promotional work for WrestleMania. So yes, I expect Roman to win the Royal Rumble, and then I also expect Brock Lesnar to destroy everyone in the Elimination Chamber match. In other news, Seth and Becky were on a podcast, and Lynch said this about an employee within the WWE.
Like there was, I'm not going to name names, but there was a guy on the main roster who was like, be careful because one, he'll try to sleep with you. If he sleeps with you, then he'll blacklist you.
Oh, Cody Rhodes. I knew it. He slept with. Go ahead.
And if if he tries to sleep with you and you don't sleep with him, he'll also blacklist you. So there was this like line that you had to walk
Do I know
this
him?
tightrope. You know him definitely. But anyway, at one point.
Hey guys, hit it up in the comments.
It's incredibly worrying to know that this person might...
Like, there are so many weird niggas in the world that you just don't know. Like, who the fuck would have that mindset? Like, if you didn't sleep with them, they would blacklist you, and if he wanted to sleep with you and you didn't do it, he would blacklist you. I'm telling y'all, bro, this is why I'm so scared for the business in the next few years. Because, bro, it's just... WWE doesn't take care of a lot of niggas that they got going on in that camp. Because if there is a nigga who's saying shit like that, it's just, that's some Vince McMahon shit. Like, what the fuck are we even talking about? Was he under Vince McMahon's wing doing that shit? It sounded like he had like some type of higher power because like he would blacklist you if you didn't sleep with him, and if you did sleep with him, he would still do it. Like, what type of high power shit is that? He had to have like a top spot in the company. That's what I can assume. But I'm not gonna name names either because like I generally don't know who the fuck they're talking about. Maybe I could make a bit of a joke about it and say like it was fucking CM Punk. Nah, that's cat. But yeah, I can tell y'all, bro. I don't know people who are like that, but like I said, there are so many weird niggas in the world that you just don't know. And I hope WWE figures that shit out if they haven't already.
Still be on the roster. There is no space in that locker room for someone like that. I hope that WWE fired that person, and if they did not, they should seriously reach out to Becky Lynch, investigate that allegation, and fire the person if others experience the same situation. You always got to protect the employees, and more specifically, the women in that locker room. And in that same podcast, Seth Rollins said a couple of hot takes that we need to talk about. The first one is about the fact that he does not like the WWE Unreal documentary. This is what he said.
Yeah, but I hate it.
Right?
I do hate it. I don't hate all of it. I don't hate all of it. Yeah, I mean, look, there's some parts of it that I think are fascinating and interesting, but I go like, there's some things that in our business, you know, everybody knows what it is. Everybody knows that it's predetermined and planned, but the gray area, that one little question, right? That like maybe they really don't like each other.
Yeah.
You know, maybe there's something there. Maybe what could happen, that unpredictability that it creates, that's the magic. That's where the magic happens in our business, is that just little seed of doubt. And when you start to just chip away at that, it becomes a bit tricky.
I've got to say that I completely agree with Seth Rollins.
I completely agree with that shit. And, you know what I'm saying? People were like, I wouldn't say they were just like hammering me in my comment section, but they were just like saying that it was the best thing for the business for a long time. And because what I had said in the video was that I don't like the idea of just like kayfabe being broken, and I don't like the idea of just like, you know, people's personal business possibly being put out there and just like creating this like narrative for the internet to like spin about some shit that's just not true. Because if you know how black and white the internet is, you would just know that, you know, there's a lot of things that they take out of context, and there's a lot of things that they like do to kind of just like persuade you to think this way. And that's the Unreal series it consists of. It's like there's a lot of pros, trust me, because I do like it myself, but the cons are just like you can't really just walk away from that and just expect other people to walk away from it. And it's just like people have to understand that, you know, that's the best part about wrestling. It's the unpredictability, and I feel like Unreal kind of like represents the opposite of that. But you know, that's just my opinion.
On this take, I made a video about this months ago when the documentary was first released. I thought it was a bad idea, and I still don't like it at all. He is 100% spot on about keeping the magic alive. Before Unreal, people weren't sure if Punk and Rollins actually hated each other or if they were friends, but after watching that, you clearly knew that they were friends. It's stuff like that, the little things that really kill the product for absolutely.
It was. Now that was the part I really hated about it, because I didn't even know that until like he said it. Like, because it always seemed like they had real beef. And now that you look at it, it's just like, maybe in the context, it's just like, maybe Rollins is just being a professional and he really doesn't like him. Because I can be, nigga, you don't have to like all your coworkers. I don't like all my coworkers at work, that's for sure. But maybe it was in the context of maybe just Seth being a professional and stuff like that. But as far as like, you know, them being friends and that being revealed, if that is true, then it's just like, okay, this is a huge fuck up. And I hate it. So, it is what it is, bro.
No reason I don't think there's much of a benefit. I think they could have done the backstage footage without telling us to our faces that there are writers and everything is completely scripted. I saw CM Punk also said the same thing about not liking the show, and I think more wrestlers should speak out against the show. They should cancel it, honestly. I think it's the right thing to do for the business. While I agree with this first take from that podcast, I gotta completely disagree with this other take. This is what he said about fans and their opinions on wrestling.
But the fact that everybody feels like they need to have a fucking opinion about everything, you know, that's the thing that I go, well, what are we doing here? No one needs you. You don't need to have an opinion. You can just say nothing. You can just say nothing, or you can like talk to your friend about how much you hated the latest Marvel movie. You don't need to put that crap on social media. You don't need to. Nobody gives a shit about you and your opinion, you know?
And it's so interesting to see opinions on pro wrestling when so much of it is out of their control.
Yeah.
Does that mean like you're like, so wait, why do you have an opinion?
Well, they want to have a control though. You know what I mean? They think they might. If they can get and look, to their defense, these opinion junkies, we've given them a little bit of the liberty of saying, if you have a strong enough opinion and it takes hold enough, we will change course. You know? And that happens from time to time. And so
that's crazy.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about our business, partially, is that you can pivot when things are wrong. You know, a good example of this is, I would say there's a couple of them. One was the recent R-Truth situation, where R-Truth's contract didn't get negotiated, and it got leaked online that he had been released, and, you know, the fans went, what the we love R-Truth. What are we doing here? We need R-Truth. Everybody needs an R-Truth. And it got to the point where, you know, the executives in WWE said, you know what? They're right. We do need our truth. We were wrong.
I can't agree with Seth Rollins because he's basically coming after me and every.
Yeah, because like he's basically taking shots at B. So it's like you're basically taking shots at B and Plata. You can't really say some shit like that and then not expect people to get online and like really just give you the beats about it, because opinions, like a lot of wrestling opinions, they matter. Like, what would wrestling be if people like me, Plana, you know, that idiot Dave Meltzer, like he gets the dirt sheets, like the Minavera girl who does the reactions. Like, what would wrestling be if people like me and those people didn't constantly give our opinions online about it? Like, my content is growing day by day because of my opinions. So I can't really necessarily say that I full on agree with that. Now, there are certain people, certain opinions that just don't need to be online. But the thing is, it's just like, the reason that you're making money is because people are giving our opinions about wrestling. We're watching the product and we're giving you suggestions about how the product should be better. And he's saying it in the context as if, you know, we're saying shit to criticize and, you know, we're trying to like downgrade the product and make sure just we wish the worst for it. Like, no, nigga. We are saying our opinions to bring out the best in this product. We are not saying it to downgrade the product. And, well, in some ways it downgrades the product, but in good faith opinions, it upbrings the product. Like, you gave a good example, like the R-Truth stuff. Like, when R-Truth got released, we were saying like, hey, fuck no, what are we doing? Like, R-Truth one of the greatest of all time, like, bring him back and shit like that. And they brought him back. Do you think with people like me and people like those creators that are out there, like Plana and, you know, the other reactors and stuff like that, do you think that he would possibly be back if we weren't talking about it, making it trend 24/7? Like no. Well, R-Truth, like, shout out to R-Truth, you know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? Like, Seth, like, we obviously don't give our opinions regardless. So, it's like, I can't really agree. Like Plana said, I can't really fully agree on that.
Other content creator, and I don't think that's a fair claim to make. People are allowed to have their opinions and they should share it if they want to. I've been watching wrestling for 2 decades now. There's a great difference in the product. I don't think it's the worst product ever, but it's not.
Now, do I miss just being a fan and not giving an opinion? Yes, I do. But the thing is, just like, opinions are valuable for a reason. Opinions are the reason that you make money for your product. Opinions are what you get every single day about the product, especially when you have low ratings. Do you not take a lot of ideas for consideration? Like, because like, I guarantee you, if the product ever got low and nobody watched it, I guarantee you they'll be taken into the opinions of social media. I guarantee you. But that's just my opinion, though. Like, as a content creator, like, that is kind of throwing shots at other creators like myself.
Not as great as it once was. Something changed, and it is important for people to call it out. It's better to get some criticism and then improve the quality than for people to not say anything and then you just have no viewers at the end of the day. I think that is being ignorant, and because of that, Seth is being ignorant here. When WWE was booming from 2022 through 2024, there was nothing but praise from the wrestling community, and you never saw a wrestler come out and say, hey, we don't want that praise. But then 2025 happened, and it's been objectively bad compared to the last few years, and because of that, more and more people have been vocal about it, and now it seems like it's a problem to have an opinion. That is running away from the truth, and that is not the right thing to do. And don't just take it from me, just listen to what Bret Hart said about the current WWE products.
I'll be honest, I have a hard time watching today's wrestling. I just can't really watch it. It's too fake for me. I love watching the old 90s wrestling. I really do. Like, when I watch my matches back, or some like just in almost any match, even obscure Stampede wrestling matches, there's something about the realism, the punches and the kicks, and even just the way the presentation is. It just seems to me to be more onus put on the workmanship of learning the craft of being wrestlers. I think that today's wrestlers are actors. Most of them are actors pretending to be wrestlers, and they don't actually know how to wrestle. And they don't.
I can definitely agree with them on this, and I feel like this is a major problem within wrestling, where
there are a lot of people, and Steph had touched on this on that little podcast or whatever the fuck that was with that cooking dude. There's just a lot of people who are into wrestling because like it's a paycheck for them, and especially in NXT where there are a lot of people who didn't even grow up liking wrestling. They grew up playing a specific sport, and they got signed to WWE because they were a breakout or standout in that sport. I feel like that's not really a good reason to sign somebody, because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, you could be good at this sport, but can you grow a love for this sport? Like, this is a business. Can you draw money? Can you know what I'm saying? Can you be the best in the ring? Can you be the best in the microphone? Can you be the best with controlling the crowd? Like, it's not, okay, I have this type of appeal to this audience because my ass is fat and my waist is small. Like, no, it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have some sort of love for it. And because if you don't have a love for wrestling and you're just doing it for out of specifics of a paycheck, then the business is gonna fucking eat you up alive. So, yeah, it's more than just about having a fat ass and just like, you know, some weird attitude and playing soccer and then getting them into the business and just expecting them to grow a love for the business, which is also just like poor shit on WWE's end. Because like, why are you even recruiting people like this?
They don't even know what a headlock is. Like they don't. Everything is a high spot. Everything is high spots. Like I want to get my move in. It's like I don't know. I always thought wrestling needed to actually pretend to be wrestling, and I miss the wrestling aspect and the psychology.
This is a hot take I agree with. Like I said, wrestling is not as great as it once was. Bret Hart is a legend in this business, and even he is noticing wrestlers are focusing too much on Canadian destroyers and leg slaps more than the tiny details that add realism to the matches, like a punch or just logical selling. Before they focus on those hyper choreographed moves, they should perfect the little details, because without those, the matches do not look that real, and it instantly breaks the illusion. Anyways, those are some of the hot takes in the
I should do videos like this, honestly. Because, like, it's just like, it's the best type of videos to make, honestly. Damn, did my shit fuck up while I was doing it? Hopefully not. But, I don't disagree with anything that Paul said in this video. I think everything is pretty accurate. Because as a creator, you know, I have to criticize a lot of things because, like, who the fuck am I not to criticize? You know, I have opinions, I have disagreements, and you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna put them out there. God gave me a mouth to talk, and so there's a lot of other people, so I'm gonna be speaking. You know what the fuck I mean? Like, I always think about it like that in a sense. But there are just a lot of things that go into just like, you know, being a wrestler nowadays. And it's definitely not as good as it was like kind of just back in the day. Let me address something, right? So, somebody had, like, in my comment section, was saying that I never talk about AEW or TNA. Let's get something out of the way. I actually want to make a video about this. Okay, so, somebody in my comment section on my TikTok, and it kind of intrigued me because, this is almost far from the truth, but like I can see why this person says this. Somebody said that I never talk about TNA or I never talk about AEW or I don't like AEW or TNA. Let's get something out of the way about this. what TNA did to Mike Santana really pissed me off. And so I just wanted nothing to do or watch that product at all. And also, saying that I don't like TNA is far from the truth. When TNA had Sold Out Slammiversary and they did their collaboration with TNA with like NXT, I was the first person like making videos talking about it, congratulating them and doing all this. I actually promoted it and told people to buy tickets before, you know, the resale sold out, because it was so sold out that they had to get more seats for the show. So I was promoting it time and time again. You can go on my page and look for the video. Actually, I was showing nothing but love for every single match, for every like NXT superstar, any TNA star that was on there. I was showing love. Period. That's what I was doing, because I couldn't believe that was the most attended Slammiversary of all time. So like, I really couldn't believe that person said that. And the AEW stuff, this is something that I get requested a lot. I think I've only made one AEW video in my whole time, the whole time frame of just making wrestling videos. The thing about AEW is that, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. I love the wrestling. That's no doubt. I love the wrestling. I love Will Ospreay. I love Kenny Omega. I love Jon Moxley. I love Hangman Page, Ron Strickland, etc. But storyline wise, it's just not there. Like, and then it's just a lot of stuff. I disagree with a lot of more things AEW does than WWE, because there's a lot less long-term storytelling. And like you can tell from the product, like, good wrestling isn't enough for me. Being good at wrestling isn't enough for me. You have to have something to keep my eyes on the screen. Yes, I could be intrigued by a good match. Yes, I could be intrigued by, you know what I'm saying, somebody doing this cool flippy-dee-doo move, right? But on a consistent basis, it is the same storylines with the same people with the same just purpose. For example, how long did the Blackpool Combat Club and the JAS beef before it ended? Like quite literally. And on top of that, like, AEW sucked for a long time because Jon Moxley had the fucking AEW World Championship in the briefcase. And they had a new TV deal at the time. So that by default kind of just like, okay, my love for this sport is kind of just dying down. Because, and on top of that, Jon Moxley's run, it was a good run, but then again, it's just like, the quality of just like, you know, everybody who was fighting him for the championship and everybody who was just like, you know, how do I say this? The quality of just like, you know, the storytelling within the stories is just like, and the matches were really good. And Jon Moxley was the least talked about person in the midst of just like that whole time frame of having the championship. Like, they were talking about Hangman and Jay White. They were talking about Swerve. They were talking about Tony Storm. He was the least less talked about champion in AEW, and he's the top champion. Which was kind of sad to see, because Jon Moxley has carried AEW on his back multiple times before that. Even in AEW's roughest times. And the AEW was in rough times because he was champion. Not my job. Like I said, I love Jon Moxley, but the thing is, it's just like, there's only so you can do the same thing for such a long time, and it can just get irritating to watch. Like, you gotta understand, like, I can't sit there and just watch the same thing constantly. Like, I feel the same way about WWE. Like, WWE doesn't get an exemption. I feel the same way about WWE. Like, when they constantly put Cody Rhodes and make him the main focus of the show, and, well, that's kind of contradictory, because I just said, when they constantly make, like, Cody Rhodes the center of attention, when Cody Rhodes is just like, you know, he's not really that good of a champion, and he only shows up. He was. Let me say, he's not that better of a champion than like Roman was. Like, at least Roman Reigns was talked about every single time he came back. You were not talked about every time you came back. Like, literally. I'm trying not to contradict my points, but I'm sure y'all understand where I'm getting at. Like, Cody Rhodes is like the third best wrestler on SmackDown. And like, in all honesty. Like, he's not the quarterback anymore. He's not like somebody who's important anymore. He's just somebody who's a background character to a lot of other big stars in the company. So that's kind of how I feel. Like, WWE doesn't get an exemption, and I feel like it's just a lot of pace is slow with a lot of AEW shows, unnecessary championships. You know what I'm saying? Them not capitalizing on like easy rivalries that can be told. It's just a lot of stuff that goes into not my hatred, because that's a strong word, but just like my kind of dislike for what they got going on right now. And it just takes them a while to, I respect the fact that, AEW is open to new ideas. But the thing is just like, maybe they listen to social media a little too much than they should, considering there are a lot of just like, if you remember, maybe I'm just chapping, but fucking, there was a time where AEW was just like giving every single like babyface a championship because of just how like the audience wanted that. Like, no, like the audience doesn't need to have their favorites win every time. And there was another point that I was thinking about. The Mercedes Moné stuff. Now, obviously, y'all know, like, I have kind of a dislike for her if y'all haven't been watching my streams lately. I feel like Mercedes does not need the luxury of just, like, having all those belts, considering the fact that, like, she's now the longest reigning TBS champion of all time. She has 13 belts. And by the way, the Owen Hart shit does not count as a belt. That's not a belt that you can defend. Like, it's a championship that you are. Which, let me say this right quick. I feel like she shouldn't have won the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. I feel like it should have been Jamie Hayter. Because there's a better story. Because if we remember, Jamie Hayter actually, like, was injured by Toni Storm losing her championship. So there's a story there. But Mercedes Moné, knowing that they're going to make a storyline for her losing the AEW Women's World Championship matches every time she faces one forward, that's not enough. Have her lose all those championships at one point. She doesn't need to go to every single continent winning a championship. That's fucking frivolous. Like, why does she need to do that? We get that she's a good wrestler. We get that she's ranked number 1 on a lot of people's list. But then again, she's not better than, like, brother, I can name fucking just like 10 wrestlers who can beat her. Like, I understand it's a bad point, but at the end of the day, like, that's indie wrestlers alone. I can name 10 indie wrestlers that's better than her. Like, literally. But that's kind of I'm not gonna like dabble too much in that. And then it's just like AEW. How do I say this? AEW is not really a product that I feel like it would just intrigue me in the long term. Like, I figure AEW is just like this place where, a lot of top stars will come and go because they don't want to lose. Like, Bobby Lashley, I don't want to say he's a perfect example, but MVP is kind of just like this person who sometimes he just doesn't want to lose. And also, who else doesn't want to lose? Darby Allin said it himself. Like, there are still people within AEW who are just egotistical, narcissistic people who like feel like their reputation is on the line every time they, lose a match to somebody. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think unnecessary people are being crowned as champions, and I feel like younger talent isn't getting utilized a lot. That's kind of how I feel about it. But yeah, that's just my final takes. That's essentially why I don't like cover AEW a lot. If there's a good time to cover it, then I will cover it. But yeah, it's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna like probably enjoy the rest of my evening. You know, I gotta go to work at 5.